Hello, I'm Fraser and I'm the CEO of Latent Drive. Now we're a small deep tech startup. We're busy developing climate technology to solve the problems of climate change. Now our particular thing is about the production of green hydrogen. Now you may or may not know about green hydrogen, but we all depend on hydrogen production, particularly to maintain the world's food supplies. It's a story not often spoken about. But at the minute, hydrogen is made from fossil fuels with a vast outpouring of greenhouse gases. What we're doing is developing technology to produce hydrogen from renewables like wind power. The big problem with that is cost. It's well known that you can make green hydrogen, but it costs more than hydrogen from fossil fuels. So our mission is to bring the costs down of green hydrogen to compete fairly and squarely with fossil fuels so that it's affordable and then the energy transition can take place. We've got two different products we're developing. We've got our C-stack electrolyzers, which we've got some early prototypes here. We also have our catrodes, which are components that go in electrolyzers. So a cathode is a catalyzed electrode, and in an electrolyzer you have a stack of cells. There are many cells, usually more than this, it'll be longer, and each cell has two catalyzed electrodes in it. And what we do is we manufacture catrodes which provide a vastly cheaper and more effective manufacturing process for a very expensive part of an electrolyzer. Now, to talk about electrolyzers a minute, the key thing about these electrolyzers, these are devices that split water. Water is H2O. You need to split water to get hydrogen out of it. Traditionally, electrolyzers required specially purified fresh water. And in fact, all electrolyzers on the market, they will only run on pure fresh water. These run on seawater. You can pump seawater through them and split that and produce hydrogen and oxygen. Now, that vastly simplifies connecting electrolyzers to offshore wind, because there's a need to actually get the electrolyzers out there offshore at the source of energy. And that's one of the keys to bringing the cost down. You've got to produce your hydrogen at the source of energy where it's abundant and cheap. So we're developing this project, these products, these are very new. These are some of the very first prototypes we're putting together. And it's all about enabling Britain's and Europe's energy production to transition from fossil fuels to renewables and getting the technology out there to the source of energy. I'd like to talk about our Hydroport project. Now, Hydroport is a project hosted at Portland, near here, Portland Port. And what we're doing there, together with several partners, including Portland, is that we're going to produce green hydrogen. We're going to produce that from a solar array they've already got at the port. So the solar array is a source of energy. We produce green hydrogen with our C-stacks on the harbour wall at Portland. It gets compressed and stored, and then it fuels a harbour patrol boat. So it gives you the full value chain there, from capturing renewable energy right through to a working boat doing useful work in the port. And all of that's in the port's demise, and they don't have to buy in fuel. And all of it is emission-free, carbon-free. So that's like a demonstration project kicking off later this year, and it will be next spring, a year's time, when we're getting the harbour patrol boat running.
Could you tell us about the funding and how important that is for you as a business and the sector?
So we've just been awarded from Innovate UK funding for Hydroport, and it's £630,000 worth of funding across the partnership, and there are 5 partners in it. There's ourselves, there's Exeter University, who are actually providing the hydrogen-powered rig for patrol work. So they're busy converting what used to be a petrol-powered rig to run on hydrogen and electricity. Portland Port obviously providing the operating site and hosting it all. We've got Logan Energy, who are doing the compression and refueling station. And that's a crucial part of it. it's not just a matter of making the hydrogen. You've got to be able to store it, compress it, and get it into your vessel. It's a bit like filling your car with petrol. You have to have a way of doing that. And Saline, who are a business development group based here in Poole, they specialise in the marine industry and offshore wind, and they're demonstrating this technology around ports, particularly in the southwest and across the UK, and we're getting a lot of interest from other ports who want to do similar things. The funding for this is coming from Innovate UK, and it's coming through the Southwest Marine and Maritime Launchpad, which is very particularly the southwest region, and it's all about decarbonising port operations. So that funding really is what's making this happen. Yes, and we've only just been awarded that in the last few weeks. So that's a really big step forward for us. Very glad for a small company like us, is a transforming thing to get that funding and get this partnership together. Well, there's two things really. I mean, when we came here 2 years ago, we were casting around Dorset, this area, for somewhere where we could rent lab space. And this is the only place in Dorset where you can rent lab space, right? There isn't anywhere else. So that's a powerful thing. It's going to take more than desks and chairs to combat climate change. You actually need labs, you need workshops, you need factories. You've got to make things, you've got to research things, you've got to try things out. So the facilities here are a transforming thing. The other thing that's a really big deal, I mean, just looking out the window here, there's space here. We intend to grow enormously. We intend to employ people. So we need the space here to build the factories in the future that we're going to need. And being able to expand on a park like this, that's a big deal.
Excellent. Talking about labs, let's go and have a look inside your labs.
Let's go and have a look at the lab. The key thing for us is having a mass production method for making our catrodes, which we can then sell to electrolyser manufacturers as a crucial component of their electrolysers. So we take stainless steel felt, and this is a piece of a very fine felt. It's almost like, you can imagine filter paper made out of stainless steel. You can breathe through it. So that you can flow liquids and air through it. It's got a mesh on the back. What we do is we take this, which is an industrial commodity material, and we treat it by a unique electrochemical process. And what we do is migrate nickel and iron to the surface and turn them into catalysts on the surface. Now, we can do this without adding anything. So we're not adding any platinum group metals. There's no iridium, there's no platinum in there. And that's an enormous saving in costs and also in damage to the environment. Now, to do this, we've developed very specialised equipment here. So this is our cathode manufacturing cell, and we have cartridges in here. These are the cartridges, and we can clamp pieces of stainless steel in there and treat several cathodes at once. And then these would drop in. This is equipment we've developed ourselves. It's all unique equipment for making these catrodes, catalysed electrodes. We've got some sophisticated electronic equipment that powers this. So this box of tricks we've had to design and build ourselves. It's a high-powered electrical controller, which it replicates some of the functions of sophisticated laboratory equipment, but on 1,000 times bigger scale, vastly greater power output. Over here, we've got test stations where we're developing our own C-stack electrolyser. And this is a test cell. It's a single cell. In an electrolyser, there are in many cells, but we're testing cells one at a time in here. Again, we've had to make all these components. In fact, these in particular have been machined in the park here with a local supplier. These are machined at Goathorn Precision. We're just across there.
And when it comes to your own internal innovation, I remember you telling me about these.
Yes. Well, these are, I mean, we've got Tupperware here, we've got electric heaters. These are actually modified from normal domestic kitchen equipment to actually do the test. So this one's got seawater in, this one's got potassium hydroxide, And then we put all this kit together to make a test station. So, and again, over here, we've had to build, these are the original test stations for developing catrodes. And these were in these we were developing one catrode at a time. And then this equipment here, which is a further development, we can make several at once.
So what kind of savings in money has your innovation kind of?
Well, if a manufacturer is making a 1 megawatt electrolyzer, which might be a piece of kit about the size of a shipping container, then they might spend £100,000 on catalysts and electrodes. We can give them a solution that would be less than half of that cost and would also be better for the environment. So there is a substantial saving there, and there's more savings to be had if we scale up the production equipment.
So Fraser, you are where you are now, but where you want to be in say 5-10 years time is going to be somewhere totally different. So
Yes.
what do you need as a business in terms of support from the sector, from the innovation park, and from Dorset in general to reach that goal?
Well, in the immediate future, the next few months, we're actually kicking off a funding round to raise about £2 million of private equity investment, and that will add to the grant funding that we've been awarded. We want to be able to spend that here on the park. We want to be able to expand either into more rooms in Chisel House there or into one of the new units, and that's a very immediate thing we can see ourselves doing in this coming year, and probably double the size of our team in the next 6 months or so. We need to employ by another 4 people there, and that's immediate stuff. Beyond that, we need to probably double in size each year, I think, and that's where we lead on to thinking like, well, you know, when will we outgrow the unit and where do we go next, and what needs to be built? But that's several years in the future. The thing is, climate change is a very, very big problem, and energy production, humanity's energy consumption is mind-boggling, is enormous. These are our markets, right? This is what we sell into. To make a difference, quite apart from anything to do with businesses and profits, just to make a difference, we've got to be huge. So I'm an engineer. I've dealt with manufacturing new products all my life. I want to scale this business enormously and scale our products, which will mean working with other businesses. And we want to stay based here, but we're expecting to become a large company with probably thousands of employees in the future.
Wow, that's amazing. So, you know, what kind of, are you looking for engineers or scientists? Or
both engineers, plenty of engineers and scientists. But the thing is, at the minute, we're a tiny little startup. We've just started selling stuff, just earning our first revenue with our catrode product. The C-Stack will take another few years of development before we can actually sell them. You know, that's an early stage product, and that's why we need the investment to actually get it developed. But all these things we need to grow, and we need to get proper industrial scale manufacturing going on. We don't intend to be just working away in the lab. No, we're going to be a full-sized production company.
Excellent. That sounds amazing, Fraser. Thank you for your time.
Okay.